bring in Don Cheadle, great actor who joins us now. Don, how are you this morning?
I'm doing good, Dan. How are you?
I'm good. Explain your role on Thursday night, the opening for Thursday Night Football, since we didn't get to see it last week.
I don't know if we're going to see it tonight. I'm not sure if they've made that decision. I believe they're still going to keep it. But, it's really sort of, big upping the game and talking about the game that we all love and sort of extolling the virtues and the vibrancy of the game. But, in the wake of all the recent news, you can't go back and reshoot the thing to rebalance what's happening. But there's a fair amount of cognitive dissonance that I'm experiencing right now, that's for sure.
Would you have done it if you knew what was happening now? Would you want to redo it if you could?
Yeah, I think the redoing it, I don't know how you redo a promo for it and include that in it when you're really just talking about the excitement that goes around the game. But absolutely, I would have. I don't think I would have done it had I seen what we saw. No.
What about Rihanna's reaction? She said, "You're not going to use my song. Basically, shove it." Have you spoken to her?
No, I have not. I think that it was the right thing to do. I can't speak to Rihanna's POV, but I do think it was important to really put the issue front and center more than the try to get some entertainment value out of the opening. I know her perspective is that she was punished unfairly and that 20 million fans are deprived of seeing and hearing her. So I see where her point is in that, but at the same time, I think that it could have been a little tone deaf to not really speak to what was happening and just approach it as if it were, just another day at the office.
But do you agree with what CBS did last week in pulling it from the open?
Well, that's what I'm saying. I think that they needed to really address the issue and deal with it and not appear to, be in a place where they were completely tone deaf to what was happening.
Yeah.
And I think it was appropriate to really put that issue front and center. Now, we're going to see if that continues and what will happen as a result of that, and do we just go back to business as usual once the heat dies down? Hopefully not. But I understand their decision, and I think it made sense to try and refocus, the narrative instead of just being rah, rah, let's go football. It had to be about something a little more important than that.
What bothers you as a fan right now?
Well, I guess that, what's being unearthed and that we're seeing over and over, I guess the questions that come up are what are really troubling is how much was known, when was it known, what are teams doing about it? Is this a culture of, just don't ask, don't tell, or are we really going to try to get people help and lead people towards solutions? And, you kind of, you say don't hate the player, hate the game. And it's like, I love the game, and I don't hate the players, but I want everyone to be on the same page about what needs to be done about this and really sort of look towards solutions, not just try to, overcorrect when it looks like we're going to be embarrassed, but really deal with the root problem.
Talking to Don Cheadle, joining us, Dan Patrick's show. What do you think? Has the brand been damaged, or how damaged with the NFL?
Maybe to some degree. I don't know that the damage is long-lasting. Like I said, it's a 24-hour news cycle, and things tend to ebb and flow, and something's really important, and there's a hot-button issue for a minute, and then, people, the next, issue comes along, and people tend to forget. And I think the viewership for the NFL that first weekend was double what it had been, before any of this stuff has happened. So is the quote-unquote brand safe? Mm-hmm. I don't know. We'll see. Do they have some house cleaning that they need to do and really deal with what's happening inside that organization in a very substantive way? Absolutely, and I hope they do, because fans want to be able to root for the whole thing, not just the play on the field. They want to be able to be down for the players as well.
Well, we have preferential treatment in society, not just the sports world, but it seems like we enable our stars, or our stars are more important to us. If you just took away the name Adrian Peterson or Ray Rice or Greg Hardy, you wouldn't have kept these players on the roster. Do you agree with different rules for different players?
Well, and conversely, you probably wouldn't have even heard about a lot of this stuff either if those names weren't front and center.
Yep.
So, no, absolutely not. Everybody has to play by the same rules, and we all have to look, they're representing teams that, there's a lot of brand protection versus sponsor defection, and they kind of know that going in. So you understand what it is that you're representing, I think, when you sign up for the team. So I don't think there's any surprise. Now, people have different opinions about what the corrections have been. Have they gone too far? Did they not go far enough? Did they go too far, then come back and then go further again? I mean, there's a lot of confusion about what's happening, but clearly there has to be a reaction that's in the best attempt to be proportionate to what it is that's happened.
We try to write storylines, movies, scripts, and sports provides these stories. And sometimes, if you were going to make it up, nobody would believe you. You live in Hollywood. You're looking for scripts where something's great, and this is something that plays out right in front of us. I mean, these are great script writers that are writing what happens in sports, whether it's good or bad.
Yeah, I mean, look, if it's the most sensationalistic thing that tends to rise to the top of newscasts, to the top of sports shows, to whatever. People want to know, what's going on, and sometimes live vicariously through that. They want to sometimes, see it as a cautionary tale, and that's hot over there. I don't want to go over there. But yeah, you can't make a lot of these things up that are happening, but they keep happening.
If we walk down the street, what's the movie that's going to be brought up to you?
It depends on what street.
Okay, we're in New York, walking down Broadway.
Well, it might be Rebound. Someone mentioned that HBO thing I did about Earl Manigault because, he was a New York baller. It might be there. It might, it's really a lot of a demographic, sometimes the age demographic. If it's a little kid, it's probably, not going to be the show House of Lies on Showtime. And if it is, I'm a little concerned. But it's probably going to be, Iron Man or something like that. So it just depends. I try to pick, what are you going to ask when people come up?
What kind of game do you have, basketball-wise?
Before I tore my knee up playing every day for 5 hours outside and on asphalt, never found a gym. That was kind of stupid. I had a good game. I was fast. I was really at the front of the break all the time. But
Earl could jump. So you're portraying, Earl Manigault, the GOAT, and he was one of the great leapers of all time, legendary leaper.
Absolutely. And when you do that, what they do is they, put a trampoline down at the bottom of the screen, or you jump off of someone's back. So I had incredible hops in that movie.
You jumped off somebody's back?
Yeah, it's fine. They paid him. It was no big deal. He was happy to do it.
How many people would mention Colors, which I think is a sneaky great movie?
It depends. That was so many years ago. That was like the first or second movie I ever did. But yeah, some people still bring that up.
You only have about 5 lines, but you're a badass in Colors.
Yeah. I said I don't need as many lines.
You're doing the Miles Davis biopic. By the way, we had this discussion. Is it biopic or biopic?
It's neither for me. I think it's biopic, but it's not really a biopic. I wouldn't describe the film as a biopic, although I'm taking a real person's life. It's really a story that's I'm trying to be innovative as he was and really push the thing forward in the same way that he did. It's not a cradle to grave story at all, which is kind of what a biopic is.
Yeah, and I like that you just take a portion of his life and then that's the movie.
Yeah, I think to try and really run the course of his life, he was so important to music for 40 years. I don't think you can do that really without giving short shrift to every single, era of his life. And it just starts to become really episodic at that point.
How's your music ability?
I've been playing trumpet. I, picked that up as soon as this was something that was on the radar. And, I play every day. I would not say by any stretch of the definition that I'm a trumpet player, but I enjoy playing.
Do you keep any outfits from Boogie Nights?
No, I don't, surprisingly.
Do you keep anything? I was going to
keep the cowboy outfit, but there was too much demand for that on the set.
Did you keep anything? Are you a memorabilia guy?
I'm really not. I mean, my wife always tends to want me to grab something. I mean, I take something if I like it, but I usually am wearing it. I I don't take it to put it in a trunk. I'm like, oh, I like those shoes. I'm going to have those shoes.
Well, you could have brought George Clooney home from Ocean's 11. Just say, honey, here's some memorabilia. I brought George Clooney home.
Yeah, he's not the best house guest. Just not the best.
He slept at your house?
I don't want to talk about that. I mean, I could talk about it, but we have a restraining order. I don't want to go into it. I don't want to go into it.
Are you going to his wedding?
He's getting married?
If he got married, would you be invited?
Look, I'll see it when I believe it.
Hey, good luck with the Miles Davis piece and also your Showtime show. Season 4 of House of Lies on Monday on Showtime. Good to talk to you, Don.
There you go. Appreciate it.
All right, Don Cheadle. Miles Ahead is the movie about Miles Davis, and he's directing it, also starring in it. Man. And then Season 4 of Showtime's House of Lies on Monday.